Well, hello, and welcome to Introduction to Philosophy. My name is Mr. Johnston, and I'll be your instructor this semester. I'm going to begin by going over the course dynamics and the course content. You need to pay a lot of attention to how this, to what I'm about to say, because this is how the course works and what we're going to cover and what you have to do. Do note that you can go back and watch the video as many times as you want to. So, if you didn't get the content the first time, or if you have any questions, replay the video. It's not being erased. All right, so you should know, as far as the course dynamics, you should know that it's on Canvas, which is where I'm at on the share screen thing here. And I know yours doesn't look the same as mine. I'm an instructor, but down here it says courses. And you go to your course, whichever one it is. It'll be one of the Philosophy 1 courses. All right. Now, how does this work? Well, first thing to know is announcements. And pay attention to announcements. This is how I'm going to basically this is how I'm basically going to unveil the class as it goes. Let's put it that way. I'm not putting things on calendar, and I'm not putting set timelines on things at the beginning of the semester. I've always found that to be problematic, because when you try to structure the class from the beginning, you miss all the deadlines and everything gets all messed up. So as the course proceeds, I am going to put in this announcements what you need to be doing and when. I will post at least 2 announcements about that every week. So, the first announcement might be like, this is what you need to read this, and you need to post on this discussion board. That's how I'm going to let you know what you need to be doing and when you need to be doing it. Do not ignore the announcements. That's how you know where you're at and what's going on in the class and what you have to do. So please pay close attention to the announcements. All right. Now, that is, and by the way, what I just said is kind of the structure of the class. This is asynchronous. Okay, there's no class meetings in this. No class meetings. There's no class meetings. It's asynchronous. I'm going to say, do this week, or do this in the next few days, and have it done by this date, and then you just do that. Okay, there's no meetings. Clear enough? There's no meetings. Now, what that is basically going to consist of is 3 things primarily. First, in every section, there's going to be a lecture, and that is under assignments, lectures. Okay, you go to lectures, you look at you look and find the lecture that I'm asking you to view for that week, or for that. It's sometimes it depends on the section. So it might be a week, it might be 4 days, or a half a week. But anyways, whatever I say, view the lecture by the time I tell you to view the lecture, and do the reading by the time that I tell you to do the reading, which is the other thing that's always going to happen. Readings, there is no textbook. No textbook. This is a 0 textbook class. The readings are in modules. Okay. And so all the readings are here. View the lecture, do the reading, and then there will always be a discussion associated with that. And so you need to go to discussions and post on the discussion board for that particular reading and video. Note this right now. You need to post twice, okay, to get full credit for this. And there is credit associated with this as part of your grade. One, you should have your own comment about the reading, but you should also respond to someone else's comment at least twice. You will get extra credit for doing more than twice, and that's fine. I strongly encourage people to post more than twice. But if you want to get just the basic credit, you need to post twice on every discussion, okay? I'll repeat that one more time. You need to post twice on every discussion to get the full credit for participation in the class. I've had students get confused about this in the past, and so I want to make that you have to post twice on each discussion. I'm done. I won't say it again. All right. Now, the other thing you do is you have. All right. Let me just go to the syllabus and talk about what the class is about a little bit here. All right, so this class is an introduction to some philosophical problems and the various approaches to their solutions. The student is exposed to selected traditional philosophical systems with an emphasis upon how these systems are relevant to solving the problems of contemporary existence. Among the questions explored in this course are: what is reality? What is the nature of human beings? What makes an act right or wrong? Are human actions free or determined? And what is knowledge? Right off the bat, right from the beginning, I want to emphasize the fact that this class is very much primarily about what is reality and what is knowledge. So the first and last question. In philosophy, we call this metaphysics and epistemology. Metaphysics is the question, what is reality? Or anyways, it's the study of reality. And epistemology is the question, what is knowledge, or the study of knowledge? I will touch on the other subjects, or we will touch on the other subjects. But that is the emphasis in this class. Just for the basic reason that other subjects are covered in other classes. And so I like, for instance, what makes an act right or wrong? Yeah, we'll touch on that. Pretty much, pretty considerably, actually. We'll spend some time on that. However, there is a class called Philosophy 3, which is ethics, which is where I delve into that subject, or we delve into that. We philosophy instructors delve into that more. And so this class, I like to focus on the metaphysics and epistemology questions. All right, now the learning outcomes. This is what you should learn by the end of this course. I'm going to go through this because I can make some comments along the way that'll help you understand what we're about to do here. Understand the basic history, philosophers, and ideas of Western philosophy. All right. This is very much the case in this. The word history is there for a reason. We are doing a historical approach in this class, for sure, okay? You can think of this class as a history of ideas class, which is not the same as a regular history class, because we're not going to, regular history class talks about, who ruled what, when, that kind of thing. Not that, but the evolution of ideas and thought through history. That is what we're going to be dealing with here. Just a quick little story I'll tell about this. Just to make my point, King Tutankhamun of Egypt. Everybody knows who that is. King Tut. Why? Why do we know? Well, we found his tomb. He was the only tomb we found intact, and we found all his stuff. We found all his stuff, And all these riches and all this stuff, and remarkable. But what did he actually do as a pharaoh? The guy died when he was 15. In terms of what he actually accomplished, freaking nothing, pretty much. However, his father, which you probably never heard of, was named Akhenaten. Maybe you have, but Akhenaten was King Tut's father. This guy did stuff. He picked up the capital and moved it. He fired all the priests and decided that there was only one God, the sun god. That's an incredible thing. As far as we know, historically, he's the first person that was a monotheist in the world. That's a huge idea. That's a huge idea. But we know King Tut just because we got his stuff. We're not paying attention to the material stuff. We're paying attention to the ideas. Akhenaten's idea of monotheism, it may have influenced the Judeo-Christian religion. For all, seems very plausible that would be the case. We don't know for sure, but anyways, in recorded history, he's the first monotheist. That's pretty remarkable. The other thing is we are doing this historically, so we're going to start in like 500 BC, approximately, give or take a couple hundred years. And we're going to work our way up until the 20th century. We won't do any 21st century philosophers, but we'll get up to the the 20th century. And in order to, in chronological order. All right, compare and contrast between the main lines of Western philosophical traditions. Yes, we are focusing really on the Western philosophies. Okay, it's just too much to try to deal with Eastern philosophy and Western philosophy at the same time. Eastern philosophy is very much Eastern religion, just to let you know. I mean, it's Buddhism, it's Hinduism. There isn't a secular different, religion and philosophy are pretty much intermingled, and so there's not a secular tradition of philosophy in the East. By the way, Western philosophy doesn't observe that strict guideline between religion and philosophy all the time either, as we will find out. But way more so than you'll find in Eastern traditions. Okay, assess the thinking patterns of major philosophers regarding the main issues of Western philosophy, articulate the difference between various basic philosophical conceptions and issues, know the basic transformation of ancient modes of thought to modern and contemporary Western philosophy. When I read this is when I talk about the fact that this is a historical approach, or that we're starting at 500 BC and we're working our way through chronologically. Again, just to reiterate that, to stimulate students to appreciate and critically evaluate the basic issues and ideas of Western philosophies. Student learning outcomes. The federal government makes me put this on there. All right, let's go to the course information. So this is online, it's asynchronous. That means there are no meetings of this course. Like I said, in announcements, to reiterate once more, I will say you need to do this by this date. And then you just go and do it. You find the video, you find the reading, you find the discussion, and you participate that way. Okay, no face-to-face meetings here. This course is transferable. I'm sure you all know that. 99% of you signed up because it is. This is springing. Oops, that was a pretty bad typo there. My name is Matthew Johnston. Uh, Let me just tell you a little bit about myself so you know who I am. I've been teaching philosophy for 25 years, pretty much. Yes, I know, I'm that old. I went to community college in Gilroy at Gavilan. So I grew up here in the area, Morgan Hill in particular. And I did go to community college. I transferred to UC Santa Cruz and got my bachelor's degree there. And then I transferred to the University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana. And the reason I did that was because it was in the top 15 schools at the time in philosophy in the country. So I'm telling you this because, look, I went to one of the best schools there are, or there was. I don't know if it still holds that position. I doubt it. But it was one of the best schools in philosophy at the time. And I have much more than a master's degree, by the way. I know it doesn't say PhD next to my name, but I have a lot more credits than even a master's degree. And the reason I know this is not to impress you so much. The reason I want to tell you this is because, look, philosophy is one of those things where so many people online, especially, want to think they can say things, you know, and just post things that are wrong. And by the way, Wikipedia is terrible. I mean, that's a classic case of this. I mean, it's very poor philosophy on Wikipedia. And how do I know it's very poor? Because I was trained at one of the best schools in the country. I have really strong credentials here. I know what is good and what is bad philosophy. And so bottom line, if it comes down to listening to some schmuck online about what he has to say versus listening to what I have to say, be a really good idea to listen to what I have to say, okay? Because there's a lot of very poor philosophy going on on the internet. I'm sorry about that, but be aware. Be aware. It's there. You can get a lot of wrong answers trying to look things up on the internet when it comes to philosophy. Listen to me. Watch my videos. Watch my responses to questions. I will respond to questions in discussion. Sometimes I kind of would like students to interact with each other, so I don't want to jump in too much, by the way, just to let you know about that. But you know, if I see something that in the discussion that seems like it's going down a rabbit hole in the wrong direction, I'll say, hey, wait, no. All right. The discussion is supposed to be with each other, not with me, but I'll poke my nose in every once in a while. All right, for the fun part, grading. Hey, this is how you get your grade. Okay, so participation, 13% for participation. That's discussion. Okay, I mean, how else am I going to grade that on the online form? It's discussion. 13%, so if you don't do it at all, you can't even get an A in the class. It's a pretty significant, I mean, it's going to knock you down to the 80% range, or into the 80s, and you can't get an A. You need to participate in discussions, period. And not participating could significantly affect your grade. That said, most of your grade, I mean, 87% of your grade is the written assignments, okay? There's no tests. It's just writing papers. You got to write me papers. There's 4 papers in this class. I call written assignments. I call that three essays of the written assignments. The fourth is I just call that the term paper, but it's still the same thing as another essay. They're all essays, okay? 4 essays. 4 essays is what you need to do in this class. So participating in discussions isn't going to get you anywhere if you don't write the papers. It's almost 90% of your grade, okay? You got to write the papers. And if you miss a paper, that's very bad news for your grade. Um, four essays. You should be contributing to discussions. I already said that. Write a series of essays. Okay, I'm going to give you topics for the essays. Okay, and by the way, they're already on here. Um, I'll go back to that for a second. All right, essay 1, essay 2, essay 3, essay 4. It's under assignments. Each one of them has topics, okay, for you to write about. I'm not going to open it, but anyways, it'll tell you what the topics for the essays are. I will, again, in announcements, I will say, okay, the essay is coming in 2 weeks or a week and a half or so. I usually give you about that, a week to 2 weeks heads up. You need to write an essay on one of these, the topics listed under that. But you can look before it. You can look anytime you want to. They're already posted. So if you want to look at what the topics are going to be before you start reading, they're already on here. Okay, but I will tell you when you need to do it, and I'll give you further instructions when I do that. They're all similar. The only difference between the term paper and the other 3 essays is just length. That's it. Okay, so 3 of the essays have to be 2 to 3 pages, probably closer to 3, but 2 to 3 pages. One essay has to be at least 5 pages. 5 pages is pretty, that'll work. So 2 to 3 page essays, 3 3-page essays, whatever, and 1 5-page essay. That's almost 90% of your grade. That's it. Okay, that's what you need to do for the class. Now, here's one thing you need to understand. Which paper you want to make 5 pages long is up to you. Okay, that's up to you. You could do the first one and just get it out of the way. Do the first essay, 5 pages, done. You could do the second one. You could do the third one. Whichever one you want to do and make 5 pages, that is up. That I'll count that as the term paper. By the way, you probably want to mention that I want this to count as the term paper so that I know to count it as the term paper. You should say that when you on the title page or whatever when you're submitting it. Or you can do what most people do, by the way. most people procrastinate and do it at the very end of the semester. So it's like, but hey, one of them has to be 5 pages. So if you get to the end of the semester, you haven't done a 5-page paper. Well, now you got to do a 5-page paper. But you can choose whichever one you please. I mean, my personal reason for doing this is I'd like you to pick the one you're most interested in doing. I mean, that's the pedagogical, the teacher reason for doing it is pick the one you want to write 5 pages on. But I don't care what your reasoning is about why. You need to choose one and write 5 pages on it, either the first one, the second one, the third one, or the fourth one. Okay, one of them has to be 5 pages. The other 3, 2 to 3 pages. And by the way, you have to make a choice beforehand. You can't go back and rewrite one that you've already done. That is just too confusing and hard for me to grade and keep up with. Sorry. Every time I've allowed that in the past, and it just becomes a confusing mess. So no, decide at the time that you're going to write 5 pages, and if you don't, then you decide the next time or whatever. You can't go back and rewrite something you've already submitted, please. I do use turnitin.com, which is the next thing on here. Plagiarism. Turnitin is quite good. Sometimes I've actually found that it didn't work and didn't catch people. And then I have to go research on my own. And that even makes me more angry and more likely to give you a very bad grade if I find out you plagiarized and turned it in, didn't catch it. So just don't copy other work, other students or anything off the internet. Okay, just don't copy. Plagiarism is, if you think you're going to plagiarize your way through the class, you better just forget it. It's not going to happen. I pay a lot of attention to it. I understand that some of my colleagues don't put the effort in to find when people are copying and cheating. I do. I'll catch you. If I don't catch you the first time, I'll catch you the second time or the third time. And I only have to catch you once and you're going to fail. Okay? Don't do it. Classroom conduct, it's online. But that doesn't mean it's nothing. I mean, don't bully students and call people names and that kind of thing. I have really had little problem with that in the past, but be respectful of other students. And it is true that sometimes people do express political views and such when they're doing discussions. So it could come up, hey, just be respectful. You don't have to agree. You just have to, don't be a jerk, okay? You should know the add and drop policy. The only thing I want to comment on here is that students are responsible for dropping themselves. This is true for every class you have. I do not have to drop you. Okay, I do not have to drop you. I will drop you if I see that you've missed like 2 or 3 weeks in a row and just go, wow, this guy's not coming anymore, or, 4 or 5, whatever. If extended amount of time without participation, and I can tell when you've logged on and when you haven't. Canvas tells me that. So if I see you haven't been on Canvas for a long time, I'm going to be like, I should drop this student, especially if you're not doing the work. But I don't have to, and this is the key thing I want to mention here, is because if you find yourself, unable to catch up, I discourage this. I don't want people to drop, but if it gets towards the end of the semester and you're way behind, drop the class. Or if you just decide you're going to stop coming, I might not even notice that. I might not notice that you're not coming anymore, and you just disappear. Well, then you get an F in the class. You don't want an F. All right, you don't want an F. A W, it affects your academic standing, but not like an F. So if you are going to stop going to the class, drop yourself. All you got to do is get on there and drop yourself, and it'll save you from the repercussions of just dropping out and disappearing without saying anything. Go on to the website and drop yourself. This is not true only of my class, but any class. Don't get Fs when you can get Ws. I got a lot of Ws, and I guess I could say a lot of W's when I was in community college. Much better than getting Fs. I went back, I made them up, and it's way better than getting W's. Okay, or way better than getting Fs. Get a W, drop yourself. You decide to stop taking, or you decide to stop participating in the class. Whew. I'm getting a little tired talking here, but all right, moving on. If you need any accommodations because of disability, you should contact the DSPS, and there's the information. There's also some information about housing and food insecurity and where to look for that. All right, now as to the reading schedule, this is what we're going to cover in the class. We're going to start with Plato. Well, actually, we're going to start with the pre-Socratics, but we'll, the reading, this is the reading schedule. The reading starts with Plato, the Apology, the Gorgias, the Meno, and the Republic. All of those are in his complete works. It's his complete works, right? So when you go back to modules and you look at the first text in there, it says Plato's complete works. Well, these 4 readings are in the complete works. We'll talk a little bit about Aristotle, but then we're going to go to Descartes, and that's also in the reading list. We're going to talk about Locke, Leibniz, Berkeley, Hume, Kant, Nietzsche, Russell, Wittgenstein, and Sartre. So these are the people these are the philosophers we're going to cover. Again, this is chronological order. All the readings are in modules, and this is a very approximate reading schedule. So again, pay attention to announcements. When you're supposed to read something, when you're supposed to have the reading done, will be in announcements on a weekly basis, or a bi-weekly, actually, twice a week. I'll let you know what you need to have done by when, and also when the papers are assigned. I'll let you know that with notice, and when the papers are due. All right, I hope that all that makes sense to everybody. If you want to, if something didn't, you can ask a question in comments under this post. All right. Hope we all have. Let's have a great semester. Okay, let's learn some philosophy. And I'll be telling you what to do in announcements very shortly. All right. Have a nice day.